Today we're going to dive into the tricky, sometimes frustrating world of group dynamics. And we're going to uncover how your own internal state is actually the secret key to leading and just living a whole lot more effectively.
So let me just start with a quick question. Have you ever left a team meeting, or maybe even just a family dinner, feeling totally and completely drained? Maybe frustrated, or just confused by what just happened? If that sounds familiar, well, you are definitely not alone.
And you know, there's a really simple reason why that feeling is so common. It all starts with a basic, unavoidable fact about how we live our lives.
I mean, just think about it for a second. From the moment we're born, we're part of a family group. Then it's on to school, project groups, work groups, our social circles. Groups are pretty much the basic fabric of our entire world. There's just no getting around it.
And because we're all human, we're all bringing our own baggage, our own emotions, our own points of view to the table, these interactions can get, they can get complicated. They can be really, really tough to navigate.
And yeah, this right here gets to the heart of it. These are the moments that make us squirm, right? That little knot you get in your stomach when you have to give a colleague some tough feedback, or that awkward, deafening silence when you're watching two people get into a tense disagreement. This is exactly where all that friction happens.
But, and this is a big but, here's where we're going to flip the script a little. What if the problem isn't the feedback, or the argument, or the fact that someone else seems to be getting special treatment? What if the real issue is something else entirely?
Now, this is a pretty radical idea. When you think about it, it's asking us to stop pointing the finger at what's happening out there and instead take a look inside. What if those really challenging moments aren't the problem at all, but just symptoms of something running much deeper?
And here it is. This is the core idea from our source material. These tough situations, they aren't happening to you. They are happening for you. They're like a mirror, reflecting your own internal state right back at you, what this material calls your level of consciousness. So the crucial takeaway here is to stop labeling these moments. A difficult conversation isn't bad. A tense meeting isn't unprofessional. They're just data. Think of them as diagnostic tools. They're giving you incredibly valuable information about your own internal wiring and how you're built to react.
Okay, so if consciousness is the key, we've got to get really clear on what we mean by that word in this context.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. Consciousness is your internal operating system. It's your default setting for awareness, for calm, for clarity. And that internal OS is what directly controls how you process and respond to literally everything that happens on the outside. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. It's a simple inverse relationship. When your consciousness is low, maybe you're stressed, you're tired, you're distracted, your reactivity goes through the roof. You get defensive, you get triggered super easily. But when your consciousness is high, your reactivity just plummets.
Now, the source material uses a pretty big phrase for this, transcendental consciousness. But you can just think of it as being more centered, more aware. The more grounded you are on the inside, the less the chaos on the outside can knock you off your feet. You can watch a challenge unfold without getting totally sucked into it.
So this all sounds pretty interesting, right? But how do we actually use this? This isn't just some abstract idea for a meditation retreat. It's a fundamental skill for leadership.
So why does this matter so much? Because your ability to manage your own internal world has a direct, one-to-one impact on your success in the external world. It's pretty simple. You can't lead a team through a crisis if you yourself are easily thrown into one.
And the cool thing is, the effects just rippled out everywhere. A higher level of consciousness makes you a much more stable and effective leader. It lets you coach other people better because you can see their situation clearly without your own stuff getting in the way. It is, frankly, the cornerstone of self-development, and it makes every single relationship in your life better.
So what's the game plan? It's actually a pretty simple but really powerful three-step process you can start like today. First, just observe. That's it. Pay attention to how you feel, how you react in those tough group moments. Second, use that information to understand your own baseline. And third, that awareness all by itself is the first and most important step to becoming a more present, calm, and effective leader.
In the end, it all comes down to this. This isn't just some nice-to-have soft skill. It is an absolutely critical ability for anyone who wants to succeed in our crazy interconnected world. Knowing yourself is the real foundation of leading others.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. That next team meeting on your calendar, that next project update, or even that next family dinner, don't just see it as another appointment. See it as a laboratory. See it as an opportunity. and ask yourself, what is this meeting going to teach me not about them, but about me?